Hey, what's up everybody and welcome to Miscreated gameplay. This is the pre-alpha version and look at that, man. I'm looking pimp. That's right. I got the bling bling on. I got my hammer, got my hat. That's it. It doesn't matter, you know. You're in the zombie apocalypse, you can still be pimp. You know, that's just the way it is. So, welcome to Miscreated gameplay. This is my first impressions about the game. Oh, look, there's a backpack over there. We'll go ahead and grab that. My first impressions about the game. Now, I looked around a little bit on the internet, did a bit of research on the game, and found out what there is to find out about the game. Obviously, the game is in the pre-alpha stage, and I think that's an exaggeration, because it's nowhere near an alpha. Pre-alpha it should be about 6-7 times pre-alpha before we get into the game. The game itself, it's about survival, it's about finding resources, finding loot, crafting and doing all that sort of good stuff that you need to do in order for you to survive. Now, obviously, this early on into the game, there's going to be many bugs because it's a pre-alpha version. There's not going to be that much loot. It's going to be pretty hard for you to find decent loot. I mean, obviously, you'll not starve or anything like that because there's going to be plenty of soup and plebsy or whatever. Plebsy, I think it's called. Oh, Pipsy is turned to plebsy now. And tomato soup and Fukushima tuna and all that sort of stuff. I'll be back, Lisa, Tom. There's going to be loads of stuff for you to find just to survive. But as it stands so far at this point, there isn't really a point to the game. You know, there's not just you can just get in and start building, start crafting. They do have a little bit of a crafting system into the game, which allows you to go ahead and hit a tree with a hatchet. Hit it twice, you get a bit of wood out of it. Then you put that into your inventory and you turn that into lumber, then lumber into plywood, and I suspect you do the same thing with scrap metal. You turn that into metal sheets, but I've not yet seen any scrap metal anywhere around, so I think it's a bit too early to be worrying about building structures and stuff like that. As for loot in the world, well, you can find hammers, you can find hatchets, you can see I have a squeegee. So, hey, you never know, man. You might need to clean somebody's windows or something, or you might need to clean your house, but that's just one way you'd need a squeegee. You can find a gun in the game. I know there's some pistols around the game. There you go. Let's have a try of that. So, look at that, man. I can hit somebody with a squeegee, man. Yeah, there's no need for that squeegee to be in the game. I mean, you don't want to say, look, I joined the game and a dude killed me with a squeegee. You know, that's just not right. I know that sounds weird, but that's just not right. You don't want to die by a squeegee, let's just put it that way. Early on into the game, what can you do? Well, really nothing. All you do is run around, find a few resources that they are on the map. The map itself is limited by borders. You'll find a big fence that you can't really jump across. I mean, no doubt somebody will find a way to get around it. But I suspect you'll probably sink into the ground or something once you get past that, so I wouldn't really advise you to get past that. The game itself costs $22.99, well, 23 euros. That's about $27, $28 or something like that, and I think that's pretty high for an alpha game, you know, for a pre-alpha game, should I say. It's a lot of money. Usually when these games come out in the pre-alpha stage, you normally would pay, I don't know, $10.99, $12.99, $14.99 at best, but nowhere would you pay 23 euros or 28 bucks for a game this early on. I mean, this is going to be, if I remember correctly, DayZ was $19.99 when it first came out, and we had high expectations of DayZ, and I think that's one of the reasons they bumped up the price a little bit. But as it stands so far, in the game itself, there is no point to the game. You know, the crafting is not there. There's nothing for you to do but run around for hours and hours and find beanies and find helmets and hatchets and stuff like that. And it's just a matter of time who finds that pistol before you do. Because if you end up finding a pistol before somebody else, chances are he will shoot you in the face and take your loot, thinking that you probably found something different than he did. But chances are you've never found anything different than he did anyway. So yeah, that's kind of really what the game is. I mean, I see this game as really beautiful graphics. I mean, the frames, you know, we always had a big issue with the frames in the games, in survival games, should I say. And it's going to be a breath of fresh air for you to get into the game and not really worry about frames going into a city and your frames plummeting to 15 to 20 frames. with an i7 377K, whatever the fuck this is, and a GTX 780, I'm not struggling whatsoever. I'm recording right now and I'm getting 65 frames, 67, it depends on what you're sort of looking at. But as it is so far, I've never dipped below 50 frames, and I think that's a good thing. You know, the CryEngine is doing his business again, and it's a good engine. You know, we're going to get some good use out of it. But as it is for the game, I see this game being sort of playable, and you could do certain things. Instead of, I mean, obviously you can get into the game and melee each other, and PvP, all that. Melee each other, find a hatchet, try and find a gun, and just shoot everybody you see for now, because there's no point to the game. But in 3 to 6 months, maybe this game will be playable. Maybe this will have a point to it a little bit, that you can build certain things. You can maybe bard yourself into a house. Maybe you can craft a couple of things. As it is so far, there is none of that in, and you can't really do any of that crafting. So that's really it for the game when it comes to the survival aspect of it. Obviously, there is mutants in the game. Now, the mutants are retarded, should I say, in the game, because you can easily just outrun them. There is no point. I've tried that myself. I did hit one of them a couple of times with a hatchet, and I hit him about three times or something like that. By the time I tried to hit him by the 4th time, he would have killed me. So yeah, don't go next to a mutant if you want to survive. Unless you have a pistol or something like that, then shoot him in the face, and that'll make you survive a little bit longer. But as it is, they don't drop anything. You know, I was hoping that if you make the effort to kill a mutant, they'll drop something really good. But you can't loot them, you can't get anything. And look at that, man. That flower just looks beautiful. Beautiful little flower. Hit it with a hammer. So you can see this is the border here that you can't go across. I mean, no doubt that if you turn to the right there, up on those rocks, there must be a way that you could sort of jump over it. No doubt somebody will find a way. So instead of me going back in the same area and do a bit of looting, I'm going to go ahead and skip about 30 minutes of looting. And I found myself a couple of more things in the game. That includes a larger backpack, includes a hatchet, some more different items that you can find in the world. Helmets, look at that, man. I'm still looking pimp. You know, I know it's the apocalypse, but I'm still looking pimp. Look at that. Bigger backpack, obviously can hold a lot of items. And early on in survival games, loot's going to be a bit of an issue, so you'd want to be taking out the loot if you want to survive longer, obviously. In the real life scenario, you'd take out all the loot from the world and dump it outside so nobody can find it. So that means less resources for your competition, as it were. But at this stage, I don't think there's any need for that, because there is plenty of loot into the world. The map itself is pretty big. You'll definitely be running around for a couple of hours, finding different things and finding your way around. You'll be going through woods, you'll be making your way into towns, you'll be getting shot in the face by that dude with a gun when eventually you do end up meeting him. So when you do meet up survivors, a word of advice is always in survival games, keep away unless you have the gun. Otherwise, he'll probably end up shooting you and taking your loot, and you will start all over again. Now, servers, yes, obviously the servers are going to be buggy a little bit, and it's an alpha, and it's going to take a while for you. I mean, myself, the game kind of crashed a couple of times on me, and there is day and night cycle, so you can join US servers. There's 32 players on a server. You can join US, Europe, Australia. They have servers everywhere, so you... oh, shit, there's a mutant coming in. Look at it. It looks like the Terminator, dude, with that hand. Like that dude in Terminator 2. Yeah, hey, man, just relax. You can easily just outrun him, so you don't really have to worry about it. Eventually, at some point, he'll give up. But I think this time around, that deer saved me, because he's chasing the deer instead of chasing me. So yeah, it kind of looks like I don't have a head, but I kind of do. Now, there is deer into the game. You can kill the deer, but at this stage, you're not going to get anything off it. So I think no point killing a deer unless you have to kill a deer. Now, I mentioned that you have day and night cycle. At night, it's pretty dark. I mean, it depends how you have your monitor set, and if you have your monitor up a little bit with the brightness and everything, that's one way for you to see a little bit better at night. So this is a little bit of the crafting that exists into the game. Once you get that wood, you put it in inventory, you start crafting. That's going to turn your wood into lumber. Then obviously you put 2 lumber in, you do the same thing, and that's going to give you a plywood. At this stage, obviously there's nothing for you to do with that, but I suspect in the next couple of updates, next couple of months or something like that, you will be able to build some sort of structures with that. So that's pretty much it for my first impressions about the game. I'm going to be live streaming the game as this video is uploaded to YouTube. When this is done uploading, I should be live streaming the game and looking for a gun and, yeah, making a few trades with survivors and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be trading. So one quick final thing, you can see there's a guy over here. Now, I'm thinking at this stage that this is going to be like Rust. Once you disconnect, your body's going to stay on the server until you come back up. Now, that's going to be a bit of a problem early on because you can't make any houses, you can't lock yourself away, so you'll have to hide in woods and stuff. But instead of me hatcheting this dude to death, if he's still alive, I'm presuming he's alive, I did respawn a couple of times, and I did go back to the same spot where my body was, and the body disappeared. So that's kind of the only thing that's making me think that this guy is alive. But still, if he is alive and he wakes up, jackpot. You've got some stuff in your sleep, man. You could do stuff like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Remember, the live stream is going to be... as soon as you're done watching the video, check out the live stream. Probably going to be live streaming some of this, and we'll have a bit of a discussion about the game there. And we'll try and find a gun. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Out.